Hi, this is Regitze Simonsen. Is milk good or bad for you? A lot of people think that milk is some of the healthiest food or kind of drink that you can have, and we've been brought up with that. We've been brainwashed with that, even by the government. But the truth is that milk is really, really unhealthy for you, and I want to show you some proof. There's lots of studies showing that it is unhealthy, but it's not coming too much to the public eye because the milk industry is very powerful and has a lot of money to suppress these studies. And they also produce studies that show it the exact opposite, to keep people buying milk and milk products. It's not just milk, it's all milk products like cheese and butter and yogurt and stuff like that. So I found this article from Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and I'll just go over it really fast. Milk contains a lot of saturated fat that causes heart disease. And especially cheese. Cheese is about 70% fat, so that's even worse. And the thing about cheese is very addictive because milk contains a sort of morphine, lactomorphine, and it contains that because it's meant to get the calf to drink the milk. So it makes the calf and also people, when they drink cow's milk, kind of addicted to it, because it would be very bad for the calf if it didn't want to drink. It would die then. So it contains this morphine to get the calf to want to drink more and more. And the cow's milk also contains a lot of growth hormone, because a calf has to grow really, really fast. And also another thing is that most cows, they are actually impregnated right after birth, so they contain even more hormones, not just the hormones from having a baby, having a calf, but also the hormones from being pregnant again. So cow's milk, and all milk actually, but people only seem to mostly drink cow's milk. And it contains a lot of hormones and this lactomorphine that makes us addicted. So let's go on here. Milk is naturally only for babies. I feel kind of silly to say this. Milk is for babies, not for grown people, and especially not we shouldn't drink milk from a different species. And babies, they have an enzyme when they're born. Human babies, they have an enzyme when they're born called lactase. It's meant to break down milk, because of course babies, they live from their mother's milk. No other species in the world drinks milk from other species other than humans. So I want to show you a little graph, or a little drawing around the lactase. Lactose, that is the sugar in milk, and it's broken down by lactase in the small intestines into glucose and galactose. But the thing is that human babies or small children, they lose this lactase enzyme when they are 2 or 3 years old, and then they can't break down the milk anymore. And that's why a lot of people, actually about 75% or 70 to 95% of all human beings in the world are lactose intolerant. And that's because most of us, we lose this lactase, this enzyme to break down the milk. It depends. In some countries, people are genetically more lactose intolerant than in other countries, but it's on a global base. It's about 75 to 95% of all human beings. So what happens when it's not broken down, when milk is not broken down by lactase, then it moves on into the large intestine. And then the bacteria is trying to break down the lactose, the milk sugar here. But it can't because it's missing this lactase, and it then causes gas production, abdominal pain, bloating, and the small sugars causes fatty acids, and that causes diarrhea. You probably know, if you are lactose intolerant, how uncomfortable it can be. So let's go back to the other article. That is lactose intolerance, but also bone health. Almost everybody thinks that milk is good for the bones, and it's the exact opposite. Milk is an acidic product, and therefore it contains calcium, yes, but so does a lot of vegetables. It contains more calcium actually, and because it's acidic, it binds to the calcium, which is basic, and therefore it's actually drawing calcium out of the bones on people because it wants to bind to calcium, the acidic milk. So studies have shown that people who don't consume milk, they build stronger bones on a plant-based diet. The reason you haven't maybe heard about this is, again, like I said, all these studies that talk against milk production is being suppressed by the very powerful milk industry and dairy industry. Now we come to the serious part. Milk, and especially cheese, because cheese is a concentrated milk, it causes a lot of cancer. And that is again because it contains growth hormone, because milk is meant to make a calf grow up really, really fast. They grow up way faster than human beings. So it contains a lot of growth hormone, and what happens when the human beings consume that? Then it makes the cells in the body divide, and that is how cancer is also developing. There's a study here that shows that from National Cancer Institute that compared the diets of women diagnosed with breast cancer to those without breast cancer, found that those who consumed the most American cheddar and cream cheese had a 53% higher risk of breast cancer. And there's so many studies here. Research founded by the National Cancer Institute and the National Institute of Health and the World Cancer Research Fund found that women who consume 1/4 to 1/3 cup of cow's milk per day had 30% increased chance of breast cancer. So little bit of milk causes such a huge risk of breast cancer. And 1 cup per day increased the risk by 50%, and 2 to 3 cups per day were associated with 80% increased risk of breast cancer. So how much milk, think about it, if you're drinking milk, how much milk are you consuming? Most people would easily be drinking 2 or 3 cups of milk per day, thinking that it's healthy. And it also, not just breast cancer, but also is also associated with prostate cancer. And it's usually associated with those cancer types that has to do with hormones, because like I said, there's lots of hormones in milk because it comes from a cow that just gave birth and also is usually pregnant while lactating also. So that was a couple of things around milk. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'll be happy to answer it. I'll also link this article to underneath the video so you can check it out yourself. And yeah, please share it with your friends who also need to be healthy. And comment, like, share, and like the video, subscribe. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.